We're here with Enrico, the general manager at Facephi. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Tired. It's been a very long day. Interesting conversations with many prospective clients across the region, and looking forward to day two.
Glad to hear that. It has been a long but successful day here at Seamless. So tell me a bit more about why Facephi decided to exhibit here.
So this is the second year that I personally attended. So I was here in 22. I looked at the prospective clients that we could reach out to. And with the investment that we're making across the region, we decided that Seamless was the best show for us to broadcast what Facephi do as an organisation, to really increase the brand awareness, and for us to take advantage of what we see as a growing potential in the technology that we supply. So far so good. Again, many interesting conversations. It's good that we're starting to see some association with the brand and some big customers that we're talking to. So yeah, looking forward to the future.
And tell me a little bit more about Facephi and the vision behind the company.
So Facephi's main premise is that we provide a technology to identify or verify the identity of a person, either on the end of a phone or a web device. So any digital service that an organisation offers.
So for example, is that like my digital banking app, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the facial recognition?
Part of it is, so it could be, so I'll give you a practical example. If you're a digital bank, you download an app, the app would then ask you to verify who you are, and generally there are 2 or 3 steps that the bank app would take you through, which is essentially the technology that we supply. So one, we can identify and extract information from a document, so like a UAE ID card, we extract the Arabic from that card. We check the authenticity of the card as well, so is it real or not? And the second thing that we do is we add layers of biometrics, so for example, face recognition. So as you would probably do and you've done in your personal banking, we take a selfie and then we match that face with the face on the ID card, and we run something called liveness, which is where we check whether the person is real or not. Interesting fact for all your users out there, we run something called passive liveness, which essentially is where we can check the whether a person's real or not without having to interact with the phone. Now you're looking a little bit confused there.
So as opposed to a bot, right? That's what it means.
No, as opposed to, if you've used that technology before, you might have been asked to interact with your phone, where it says blink or move your head or smile, which it doesn't work. It's extremely cumbersome and the user experience is really bad, in fact very poor. With us there's none of that, so you don't have to interact with it. You literally just look at the screen and it takes a picture and it does liveness and does the cross-check with the ID card.
So this is called KYC requirements, right? That's what you're referring to?
That's the part of the KYC process. There are other parts to it. So the onboarding journey or process is document scanning, face recognition. We also can do background checks, so what we call PEP and sanctions checks, all the way through to checking the behavior of that person once they're in the account. So it's like an end-to-end journey. We're a global company. We have over 250 banks that use our technology, many million of users, consumers of the tech itself. So we consider ourselves one of the biggest in the market.
So your main clients, you said, are the banks?
So traditionally the main customers that we've been servicing are banks, but we're now moving into the crypto space, fintech space, also even outside of the finance industry into pensions, insurance, because we're seeing that demand for verifying the identity of a person. As we're moving more towards a digital only world, you're not really talking to people anymore. Everything's over a phone or on a web device of some description. So it's good for us because the demand for identifying who that person is even higher. So it's a huge market potential for us. So
talk to me a bit more about crypto you mentioned and what kinds of companies you're working with.
So I can't give you specific names, but we are working with some of the biggest exchanges. So similar use cases to the banks. When you open up a new account or a new wallet to buy a coin, or you want to have access to a crypto exchange, most of the reputable companies have to verify your identity. So similar to a bank, we check IDs, we check the person using biometrics. But what's unique about the crypto world, which is slightly different to banking, is that we're seeing the adoption more in the cloud. So whereas banking traditionally has been more on-prem, we're now seeing it more, the requirement more to be a SaaS offering in the cloud, because generally crypto organizations are more lightweight with regards to IT infrastructure. So they want something that can be easily installed, doesn't really need any, doesn't need any maintenance per se. So that's the difference that we're seeing, which is good because that's something that we're investing in and moving more into.
I also find that a lot of crypto users tend to be a little more hesitant to give into these KYC and AML requirements just because of the whole anonymity aspect to the blockchain space. Do you find that as well?
Yes and no. I mean, I think the value of what KYC can offer customers is not just the fact you have to do it. By knowing who your customers are and by giving them that extra layer of security and assurance actually attracts more customers. And what we're finding as well is by going through an onboarding process, customers are learning how they're interacting with their customers, which means that they know how they're offering their service. So is it good, is it bad? And by learning that, they can change it and improve it. So it's that continuous improvement cycle. So customers are seeing more value of KYC just more than mitigating fraud or having to do it.
And I wanted to ask you just some personal thoughts on the crypto industry. I know this is a little different, but what interests you the most about it right now in that sector as it grows and evolves?
Personally, I've invested in crypto, so I think it's got a lot of potential in it. There has been some very bad, high-profile cases that maybe has put the fear in the investment market, and generally in people wanting to spend money or invest in crypto. I still believe there's a huge potential there. I think there's a huge market for it. I think the fallout from the big case that I think everybody's well aware of is still
FTX.
Yeah, is still rumbling, and I think eventually, like with anything like this, the dust will settle. People will get back the confidence, and I still believe the future currency will be crypto. My own personal opinion. Let's see.
Which currencies are you a fan of?
I have Bitcoin, Ether. I had a little bit of Litecoin. I had a few other ones here and there. Token Pay, which didn't do very well.
Okay, we live and we learn.
Yeah, well, a few other ones that I dabbled with. Some have done okay, some have not. But yeah, the Ether and Ethereum and Bitcoin are the main ones.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Ether as well. Now, going back to Facephi, I was looking around your booth and I found this phrase, biometric EKYC. Can you explain what that means, please?
It's a very good question, and I actually gave a talk today, and it's a question that I asked the audience, and it's a question that I ask anybody here, and I pose it to your audience, is that if you ask 100 people what EKYC means, you'll get 100 different answers, because it could be as broad or as limited as a supplier's capability. So for us, what it means is that we provide, as part of the knowing your customer through mobile or web, biometrics, which is a layer of security which is proven, tested. It's arguably one of the best ways to ensure that a person is who they say they are. It means face, predominantly face recognition and liveness.
That's like when you're in an airport, right? You're going through immigration and they scan your face?
Correct. It's more advanced than that because it's obviously evolved, but yes, it's that predominantly. But knowing your customer is literally knowing your customer, but knowing your customer could mean just through scanning a document. It could mean scanning a document and the use of biometrics. So we emphasize on that biometrics EKYC to really say, look guys, EKYC or KYC, electronic KYC is what the E part is document extraction and verification, but with that added layer of security, which is biometrics, predominantly face.
Got it. Okay. And any advice you would give to users who might be a little bit concerned about the privacy aspects when it comes to giving up your data?
It's a hot potato at the moment in terms of a subject. Look, for me, data and the retention of data is widely researched. Encryption has evolved immensely. Data security generally has evolved immensely. As a vendor, we have adopted all of the latest technology. We are IBETA 2 approved, which is a specific regulation around security. And I would say that people don't really have to worry. You do have to do your research in terms of the vendors that you invest with, because the company that you invest with has to invest in the right technology, like what we do. And there are many companies here that use reputable security applications and different encryption types. So providing you follow, the main, I would say, approved security processes and technologies that come with that, I don't think it's a problem. And again, with privacy, there's been a number of high-profile cases which has given it a slightly more negative connotation, and people are still a little bit concerned. But once you understand the technology, it's fine.
So basically, do your own research.
Answer your question, you're fine. Just good.
All right. Well, thank you for your time today, Enrico.
No worries. Thank you.